Welcome back to the Now Morning Show, 14 minutes past the hour of 7 o'clock, and we are starting or going into your second hour with a conversation about Black Business Month and celebrating cultural heritage through entrepreneurship. Joining us is Lisa Edwin-Herbert, who is the CEO of Edwin Weddings and Events. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
How are you?
I'm fabulous.
It's wonderful to have you with us on the show this morning.
Of that energy.
Yeah, and this is fascinating. I'm ready to get into this conversation, but we have to start with, tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey as the CEO of Edwin Wedding and Events.
It has been an interesting journey, right? One that I have found so much excitement in. You know, started off the last 25 years as a very young business person.
Right.
Didn't know much, loving events and wanted to be able to produce it. And partnering with other persons in the industry, and was able to produce events on a very wonderful level, carrying me into international events as well. So the journey has been an interesting one. It has been a good one. You would have your down days and your up days, but I always really and truly focus on positive energy. So that's the journey that I've been having.
Interesting.
Now, your journey is particularly marked with incorporating cultural elements into the world of weddings and events. And as we celebrate Black Business Month, how do you see your role as a Black entrepreneur in preserving and promoting Caribbean culture through your events?
Well, that is who we are. That is who I am. I'm a Caribbean person. And even more so Caribbean because my dad is from Grenada. My mom is from Aruba. So I think I have the correct blend in terms of that. And then in terms of preserving it, if that is who I am and that is what I love, then promoting my country in different events that I do, it's easy. Because we are that type of people. We are people that love Span music. We are people who love Calypso. We are people who love food. So, you know, you have all these different senses in terms of promoting our culture in every single event that I do and that I have been partnering with different persons internationally.
Interesting.
Just to make a small distinction, though, because we entitled wedding and events. Weddings are probably the specialty, but what other type of events would you enjoy?
All events, corporate events. I do events like AGMs, events like Christmas parties, you know, for different companies. At the end of the day, someone wants to have like a product launch. I do expositions. So I think that I'm very diverse in every type of event. So even, yes, as I started off in weddings, it didn't mean that it ended there.
Right.
So it just went from event to event. So I don't think that there is any event I've never really done. You know, once they say that they want it done, it's just a matter of gathering all the information and producing it.
Excellent. How do you incorporate the uniqueness of Trinidad and Tobago culture and heritage into your events? Let's start with weddings, go through other events, and why is that so important to you?
It's important to me because it's who we are. It's important to me because that's who I am. And it's very easy to do that. Because incorporating, I would say, Trinidad culture into a wedding, it's basically that's what everybody wants. You are doing a wedding and persons want salsa music. You're doing a wedding and they said, listen, we want a nice cocktail hour. What type of music are you going to have? You always have some kind of fan music.
Right.
Right? We're doing an event again. I just did a corporate event, and at the end of the event, they wanted sugar cake and tambourine bowl and all of these different things. So when I say that we are incorporating our culture, it's our own handmade things. It's the things that we do when we get persons with all these niche stuff that they want, and we are able to have that in their events and say, listen, this is a different cut. Imagine I'm doing a corporate event and there's doubles and every single thing like that. So there must be a mixture because that is what we are. That's what we want to eat. That is what we want to have. We want to have shark bites and bacon shark. We want to have those things. We want to feel like we're in Morocco, something not there. So for me, it's easy.
Yeah. Listen, from the moment you said doubles, you had me. That's for sure.
Stressing me out, making me hungry this morning.
We must pass those double vendors coming to work. It's a must. It's a thing. It's a wee thing.
It's definitely a wee thing. And that wee thing to show up at events must have been something you've done over and over again. But was there one that stuck out, perhaps? Your favorite incorporation of Trinidad and Tobago specifically in an event? What was it?
It was a wedding. 2004, I was brought to the attention of 3 individuals, and they wanted to have their wedding at our bird sanctuary.
Nice.
And for me, that was culture. When I say so, it was the bride, the groom, and their father.
Okay. Thanks for clarifying.
Just wondering.
But yes, the family and the bride and groom.
You must have a father, you must have a mommy, somebody has to be there, right? Good.
So the bird sanctuary.
Yes, bird sanctuary. Okay. So for me, it was beautiful because I mean that's the natural nesting place for our scarlet ibis, right? And then so what I had to do was to get that entire tour for every single guest. So it was a matter of me going down there, talking to all of those guys to do those tours, those nan and tours persons. And then we had to change these normal guys who carry on these tours into guys looking like captains. So we changed the entire outfit and painted over all those different boats that they had. And then we had to have cocktail hour before.
Right.
Not after. Why? Because there must be a particular time for us to go to see all of those birds nesting and to have that ceremony done there. So, I mean, it was so long ago, but to know the feel of it while the guests were coming on the boats, it was fan music. The cocktail hour had so much of cuckoo and callaloo, it had bacon shark, it had all of these many things. And then we had to take them onto the bird sanctuary, and that's the middle of the sanctuary where the 7 boats basically came together.
Right.
We had Pat Bishop was the one doing the music, you know, for one of the boats. It was just fantastic. And the whole wedding taking place, the middle there, seeing all of those color types coming in, the birds coming in, the wonderful trees, the flowers, all of these things that we are embracing, going on that mangrove, it stood out to me because every single thing about that was about culture. Just getting married in the middle there, saying you're choosing one of our sanctuaries for that wedding. For me, it stood out to me in terms of bringing all that culture together in terms of that wedding.
It sounds like a lot of work as well. European boats.
But I love that. Yeah, we had to make them in the boats. You can't just have the boats looking normal.
Right.
I mean,
It had to stand 100%. Out because remember, these type of weddings really, you know, it will go live on internet. It will go via social media, even though there was not much social media then. But then after, when that platform came in, definitely it will go there. So when you're doing something, you have to think about every single thing and do it well.
Well, you definitely did, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, let's move away from weddings and go to other types of events. So specifically, let's talk about events and expositions, as you would have mentioned. How do you believe they can elevate the profile of a business? Let's say particularly showcasing Trinidad and Tobago on a global stage.
Well, that's a plus for us.
Okay.
In terms of our events, especially our exposition, I would say going to the world on a different platform, because so much Europeans get married in Trinidad and Tobago. And when you have these expositions, there are some small businesses that never really got the attention of others. And at the expositions, when some of these small businesses come to the expo and they're able to exhibit on a professional platform, that gives them that energy, that gives them life, that gives them, I would say, a feeling of, yes, I belong, and yes, I could do something. You're giving them a chance to be on a big platform. Right. You're giving them a chance to put their business out there. You're assisting them in getting their business out there. A lot of people started off in our expositions and sent us so much letters after, came and tell us, this is how we started, and we are so happy now. This is the amount of events that we are doing. So getting them out there on an international platform is about social media and capturing those moments with them in the exposition, showcasing what they do and how what they do could benefit anybody who is planning an event and need their type of service.
Now, as much as we're focusing on specifically on Black entrepreneurs, it sounds to me like this is transcending that specific demographic. Every and anybody can benefit from those sorts of platforms. But one of the things I think we grapple with is the comparison or the need for that international validation. Walk with me here. There are certain standards that people associate with foreign entities that they assume we don't have down here. What do you say to those persons? Because from what you've described, the sort of magnificence that you put into things are certainly world class. To the persons who assume that we need that external validation or don't need to capture the Trinidad market before you go abroad, what do you say to them?
You don't need to capture the Trinidad market before you go abroad. I say you do. I say you do. Because it's a state of belonging. It's a state of starting somewhere. And you don't want to go internationally if you have not even satisfied your own market. You must satisfy your own market first. I must do your makeup before I go and do somebody else's makeup away. I must do your event before I even want to do that. It's experience. You need to gain experience. You need to gain a platform for your service. Even before you go somewhere, we must gain experience. And I believe in you doing it here first. And you are making your name here first. And then going abroad there, you are certifying yourself. You are making one say, listen, I know her, we know her journey, and listen, let's jump on that journey with her going abroad. So for me, it is necessary to satisfy your own audience before you go on an international platform.
Order for the ones in the back. Just saying. I really thought it was important, particularly in the field of events. A lot of the times I think people are just like, small crowd, let me go there. So thank you for driving that
small crowd, you need small crowds. You need small crowds, because with small crowds, that is how you're going to gain that position. And listen, I can, because I started off here, and if I do this, then I can do for 20. If I do for 20, then I can do for 50. If I do for 50, then I could do for 100. So for me, it's very important.
That is so true and so beautiful as well. Now, you've had the opportunity, of course, to work not just here, but abroad as well. Would you say working abroad has influenced the way that you approach event planning here in Trinidad and Tobago?
Definitely. It's so much more to gain that knowledge, that working with persons in a professional environment that is bigger than the platforms that we have here. You know, working, there was one time I had to work with a particular designer. He's from Trinidad, but basically he has made it very big in Miami. And he sent me a ticket and said, hey, Trini, come and work with me on this event. And it was enlightening. We were working for like 3 days, non-stop. And to see the diversified way that he took a cocktail hour from there and in a different room. And those, I mean, that wedding basically that I was working with him on, basically it was starting like 9 p.m., right? Because it's a different culture.
Yeah.
When it is you're doing things like Jewish weddings, they could start anytime. It's not like Trinidad, you must get married before 6. So you go to different places, different things happening. And when you see the amount of creativity that was done there, it really perked you to come back to Trinidad and say, listen, I need to be more creative. You know, it gives a greater value and appreciation for gaining that knowledge and bringing it back here. The only sometimes, the issue you may have is that you may not be able to have all of the different elements there because it may not be privy to us here yet, right? But it's definitely, it gives you like a you know, before you can do something, you know, you're able to have something else to launch, right? Because it's always what's coming new. So by doing things abroad, it's like, okay, I could add this to what I'm doing in Trinidad. I could add this value. I could add this momentum. We could take you on a ride here. I can give something new, right? And that happens to me even when I go abroad for expositions abroad. You know, for about 12 years, I was one of the speakers at an international event called a Special Events Convention. And when you see how those conventions are done, then I could bring back an element to my exposition because I have smelt it, I've tasted it, I've seen it on an international level. So when it is you see that and you gain that, it gives you the want for more. It gives you a hunger to come back to Trinidad and to do more. So for me, it's exciting.
I love how that energy is spilling over in everything that you say and do. And I'm wondering if there are any things that we can look forward to in terms of innovations that you will be, as you say, launching in the near future based on the other markets that you've explored.
Definitely.
Anything you want to tell us about?
Definitely. Can't let everything out of the bag, right?
I tried.
But every single year we do have an exposition.
Right.
Our exposition normally comes off in the month of March. You know, this year we did it in April, but it's in the month of March. And there is a new infusion that we will be doing in that exposition. As I said, I can't say everything as yet because it's in the planning stage. But definitely it's going to be more of a, it's already holistic, but it will incorporate even more persons to come to our exposition because of what we're going to produce next year.
Let me ask then, just one more specificity. But is it particularly to Trinidad and Tobago or generally just to events? Is it a way that you're infusing Trinidad and Tobago culture again?
We always do. It's part of us. So we always infuse. But then now, it's more of Caribbean culture. Because at our expositions, we have the Caribbean islands being there. We have Barbados, we have St. Lucia, we have Antigua. You know, so again, we're going to put our readers out to have more of the Caribbean islands come together because that gives us, I would say, a bigger platform. Because having them here, it's a bigger platform even for persons who want to plan their events in Trinidad or the Caribbean. So it gives us more value. It gives us, how to say it, Boyd, more mileage in terms of saying, yes, you can come to our country for our event and be a part of it and plan your events here or in the Caribbean.
Listen, I'm absolutely blown away by this conversation this morning. It's wonderful to see your passion and the energy, as I would have expressed as well. It definitely is captivating, that's for sure. I can only imagine how long your wait list is and how hard you work consistently year by year to ensure that you're able to just demonstrate our culture, but also just show what we are capable of as a people. I'm assuming as well giving back is very important to you.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. Excellent. Now, how can we learn about your services, though? Where can we get more information?
Well, our new website will be launched in 1 month time, and that is lisaedwin.com. Full name, lisaedwin.com, and that is how we generate the name Edwin Wedding and Events. As well on our Facebook page. Our Facebook page is our company name, which is Edwin Wedding and Events. So once person go on our websites or they call us. They can also call us on my number, which is 680-1563. So they can call us. They can go to our website. They could go to our Facebook page. And definitely, we will always upload new events that we are having and anything that we're having at all. Even if it is we are inviting you to an event where that we are incorporated in terms of partnering with somebody, all the information is going to be on our website.
So we're heading over to Edwin Weddings and Events on Facebook. Wedding.
Yes.
Edwin Wedding and Events on Facebook. Correct. But the website itself is your full name.
Yes. Website is full name. Lisa Edwin. That's not my full name really, and my full name is Lisa Edwin-Herbert.
Oh, right.
But before I added the Herbert, Lisa Edwin, yes.
I love that you make sure and put in that support tag. Make sure, because I'm sure there's a lot of support, and there will be even more so because you shared your fantastic event initiatives, thought process, and passion with us this morning, and we are very, very grateful to have had you.
Thank you so very much.
Until the next event, though, we're going to be coming back with more that you want to stay tuned for here on the Now Morning Show. So we'll be back after these short messages.